said they were sorry MFers, and they are. But I don't know if this is going to be a really exciting resolution to a cliffhanger because I think it's going to be some deep philosophical stuff like they were just talking about in the banner. They're talking about, if you have life without heaven, life without earth, there's going to be some philosophy stuff. Not super exciting for the target demographic, 14 to 16 or whatever, 11 to 15, whatever it is, right? They'll probably keep it light, but a little bit of philosophy if you want to sink your teeth into it. Do further reading, more exploration. If I'd watched this at that age, I probably would have went to a library and checked out a little bit of Eastern philosophy. Then I think we're just going to get resolution, meet up with some of our old friends, Bushy Brow and some of these other people, hang out. Probably not going to learn anything about the third exam yet. And we'll see who made it. I'll probably, everybody who had major speaking roles last round and into this round were probably still left for the most part, unless we saw them get defeated. We saw a couple people get defeated, right? So I think there's going to be about 10 teams. 13's the max, so it'll probably be 10 teams made it through. So I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into it. But this should be a moving the pieces around the board type episode, setting up the next exam, which probably won't happen for a few episodes. I'd be surprised if they start the next exam before Friday's episode. So before episode 40, right? We'll see. You know where we are. You know where we're going. 3, 2, 1. Looks pretty chill. That boiled fish was a long time ago. Hopefully they got an after party buffet or something. It's Greek to me. That's right. Drag it out again. Oh no, getting straight to it. Okay. So dramatic. Yeah. So it's confusing, huh? Oh shit. Oh, I see. It's summoning the proctor. Yeah, it's summoning a proctor. I bet. Or a demon. Probably a proctor. Or their sensei. I think that's her sensei. No. Okay, proctor. Roll credits. I like he's standing on the scrolls. I mean, that makes sense. He got summoned there, right? Yeah. Oh, really? So if you hadn't opened the scrolls in time, you still lose. Interesting. How many teams? Hey, man, it's ramen. He said, but, dude, let him finish the sentence, dumbass. Shut the hell up, dumbass. How? How do you have so much energy? He really does need to start focusing. He needs some ADD meds or something, man. What's the rest of your sentence? you would fail, man. Right. Like this. This feels like redundant information. We already know this. I guess the characters don't know it. So, okay. Dumbass. Yeah, the characters didn't know it. So, yeah. Yes, it was. You never finished your sentence, dude. What happens after ramen? He just wants to eat. He's the one that throws away his textbook as soon as he's passed the class. He's not very studious. Okay, I see. Yeah, which they are, by the way. That's your problem. Like with her, that's why he's talking to her. Yeah, exactly. You need to start working out. Like Sasuke. Yeah, what about that? I see. That was a hell of a test. More of a test than it was supposed to be with those cheaters. Well, Naruto's going to forget it by the time he's had the second bowl of ramen. Yeah. No, he doesn't. He doesn't got it. But where the food at? So there's only one more exam. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I'm humble too, by the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can always learn. It doesn't matter how far you've achieved, how far you've come. You can always learn something. It'd be like me thinking I know everything about filmmaking. I don't know shit about filmmaking. I only did it for 15 years. If I did it for 30 years, I might know something. So, you can always learn. So it doesn't matter how much you've achieved, how far you've come, you can always learn something. And that's Naruto's biggest problem. He already thinks he knows everything. but I'm not going to stay out of it. Probably so. It hurts. He's a damn problem, is what he is. Yeah, he's a fucking problem. Turn away from the dark side. Hey, nice TVs. Did you say 21 people made it through, which is 7 teams? I didn't quite catch it, but that's lower than I predicted. It looks like about 21 people. 3 rows of 7 looks like. Yeah. Okay, 21, right. So more than she thought, huh? Maybe the test wasn't hard enough. Yeah, but it looks like most of the major players that we've had dialogue and stuff. Can't believe Snack Boy made it through. I'm glad she made it. She's still an asshole, but I like her. Let's flash back to literally 3 episodes ago. Good point. So is it like single elimination or something? To get through the third, you have to defeat other teams directly. Cause well, I guess you had to this time, one team at least, because you had to get a scroll right. Dude, calm the hell down. Guess that's how it goes in this world, right? It's about his drip, I guess, as the kids say, right? It's all about the drip, baby. I think some of these people are not in this for the right reasons. What do you think? What a stupid character motivation. Maybe you should be doing this for your village or your ancestors or your sensei. That dude back there looks like Batman. Look at him. Hey, man. Shouldn't have been talking shit. Hey, they should have worked harder. Yeah, the dog seems scared still. The scary people, yeah, they're still around. So, the dog's still scared. What a stupid character motivation. Intense brow. See, it's all about the facial hair for these people. Brows, mustaches, beards. Like I said, they're definitely the pacing of this episode is tedious. Like, let's go, man. So it's like it's kind of like a chill out between exams, essentially. I mean, I knew this was going to come out. Like, you don't want to immediately jump into the third exam right after what we just went through, right? You needed a breather. No more of that nonsense we saw last time. It's a good question. Spit it out, old man. Oh, I see. So it's like a Cold War situation, proxy war. It's like a proxy war, right? Right, right. Fascinating. I love this. This does set it apart from the other exams I've talked about with like Harry Potter and Hunter x Hunter and the like. It's a proxy war, but it has a second purpose, right? Fascinating. Yeah, it's about our pride, baby. I thought you knew. Right. Yep. Maybe you get some jobs out of this. Yeah, right. Right. Interesting. Interesting. Hey, man, you do it so the entire nation doesn't have to do it. I get what you're saying. It makes sense. I've always been a true believer in that you do things for more than one reason. That's when you're really maximizing your time. Right. Hey, man, this is what we call a lie. Right. Fascinating. Even the dog is horrified. Yeah, of course you are. Whatever. What an a hole. place cliffhanger here. They're not telling us about the test till next episode. Yeah. Maybe we want to do something about that cough, dude. You ain't wearing a mask? Not nearly as good a cliffhanger as the last one. There was a big trend. I used to read a lot of science fiction back in the day, right around the time this was happening. And there was a big trend in science fiction stories in the 90s about proxy wars. About, okay, you have these two nations, even Star Trek actually did it, right? But you have these two nations that they don't want to have a hot war. It basically is all a metaphor for the Cold War between the United States and Soviet Union. But you don't want to have a hot war where you have the nations are fighting and cities are being leveled and people are being killed and all this stuff. In the Star Trek episode, they would have simulated bombings with simulated casualties, and the people who were deemed to be dead had to march over to a place where they were killed. Okay, this bombing, 1,000 people died, so these 1,000 people would march into an extermination center and die to account for the fact, and so that's how the two nations would, if you didn't do it, then you would there would actually be a hot war where cities would be destroyed and the entire world would be destroyed. So this was their civilized way to conduct warfare. They say it'd be the honor system. Okay, 1,000 people died in a simulated bombing, so those 1,000 people go kill themselves. That's how they did it there, right? But the ones I'm talking about, where you have these two planets who are at war with each other, rather than attack each other's planets, they would go to a third planet, and their military forces would go land on the third planet, and they would fight the war there. And depending on the result of that, there would be concessions. Because remember, war is just another form of politics. That's all it is. The purpose of war is not to kill people. The purpose of war is we want to convince this country to give us their shit. So if you have oil, if you have territory, cities, technology, whatever it happens to be, we want what you have. Give it to us. No, you won't give it to us. So we're going to hit you until you do give it to us. So then you hit each other. And then one of the nations like, okay, we give up. Here's what you want. Here's the oil. Here's the territory. You can have this city or whatever. That's all. The war is just politics. That's all it is, right? So this is civilized warfare. These two forces would land and attack each other on a third planet with all the destruction, with the radiation and damage and property damage, all this stuff would happen on a third planet. These two planets that are conducting this war would be living their best lives. The cities are untouched. The population, the civilians are all untouched. You don't lose the trade. You don't get pollution. You don't have climate change. You don't have none of these problems that you get with war because all the fighting is happening on this third place, right? That was done over and over and over again in novels in the 90s. A lot of them were written in the 70s, 80s as well, right? And like I said, Star Trek did it. This feels like that. This is a proxy war. This is how we can fight each other and achieve our political aims without nation states actually fielding armies and destroying each other and leveling cities and all this stuff. What a fascinating concept. But like what I was saying before, I always love when you can accomplish more than one thing at a time. So, say you want to film this short film, and you need a city to film it in, but this particular city is willing to let you do everything for free because they want promotion. So you're going to film it anyway. You might as well film it in a place where it works with tax credits as well. You might as well film it in a place where you get a tax credit or they give you all this free stuff. But then also, your mom lives in that city. So now you get to visit your mom every day after work. So that's a very infantile example I pulled out of my ass at the last minute, right? But, what I'm saying is I would always look for, like, there's a second, third, and fourth reason to do something. And so if I can line it up that way and accomplish 3 or 4 things at once, I feel like I'm maximizing the use of my time. Because I got to visit my mom anyway. Why not work in a place where I can visit her, right? Accomplish more than one thing at a time. I've always felt that way. That's what they're doing here. They're accomplishing more than one thing at a time. They're accomplishing their little proxy war. They're accomplishing advertisement for their services to everybody else. And they're training new recruits. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You're accomplishing so much at once. It's just very, very smart.